Hi guys, it's me, Kathy. Mrs. Handy, are you? Hope everybody's doing really well and you're not melting in the heat. Our heat wave ended, thank God, literally. So I'm here decoding a couple of President Trump's Truth Social posts. So you know the day was it was 3 days ago. Well, by the time you see this, I don't know, it'll be 4 days ago. He posted the one that said that Mar-A-Lago was being raided by the FBI. And, that's not real, right? So, for some reason, don't ask me why, I decoded one that was a couple before that. Well, I know why, because in quotation marks, it was right in the middle of the post, it said he impeached Donald Trump. And that was just very interesting. So I really felt like I had to do it. I think that's the reason. So what I'm doing is gematria decoding, and it's Bible coding. And you pick out a phrase or a word or all the capitals, say like I'm doing in the Truth Social post from President Trump, and enter it in gematrix.org and enter that word, phrase, or letters in there in the blank at the top, and hit, calculate gematria. You don't have to do it. You just hit a button and it will come up with 3 values. It will say Jewish, English, and simple. And I use simple, the last choice, the third one. And it will come up with a whole bunch of matches. And some of them will kind of make sense and some won't, and some will be off the wall. Sometimes part of the match makes sense to what you're looking for, the category kind of, or what you're wondering about. Sometimes it's just you're wondering about something, and you might even enter a question in there. You don't have to just do it, a word or a phrase that you're reading. I put questions in, and then I look at what comes up, and it really helps. So then you listen to God that's talking to you through this gematria, because it's Bible coding and decoding. And you can write it down or put it in your phone under lists or something like that. And before you know it, you'll start getting like a story, and you'll start getting a theme, and you'll start going, oh my gosh, this is what he's saying, or this is what the answer is. So it's really exciting. I hope you guys try it that are not doing it yet. So this post, the first one I'm doing was, I'll just read it off. It said, Dan Goldman puts his ad, I can't even get it right. Dan Goldman puts his ad used in running for Congress that he impeached Donald Trump. Now, he impeached Donald Trump, like I said, was in quotations. But he lost, and lost is all caps, all capitals. So why would anyone want to vote for a loser? I don't know. So anyway, the way you look at this, and I learned this from, I think it's a White Hat YouTube channel, and well, they're not on YouTube now, they're on Rumble, and it's called By the Book. And on Rumble, it's called By the Book and Strider, Strider, Raven, Raven. So there's 2 R's in the middle. I wonder why. And it's a long one, but you'll find it. And the old ones from I think it was a couple years ago, and I don't remember, they taught you how to do this method of gematria. Half the time I say it one way, half the other. And what you do, at least in this case, right now I'm doing, he impeached Donald Trump is a separate value. So that will be done separately because it's in quotations. And lost will be done separately because it's all in capitals. The word is emphasized. So that's separate. And then beyond all that, I'm taking the capitals, but not including those 2 items. So I'm taking the capitals and working on them. Let's see. So, sorry, you know me and my nose. I make a lot of noise. I have my big microphone, so I don't know what happened the last couple of videos, you guys. I don't know. See my big old, you know, I don't know. We did a sound check and it sounded okay, you know, before I'm doing this. So I hope it's okay, because I do like 3 videos at a time. If it doesn't work, it's going to be awful. Okay, so the capitals that I'm working on are D, G, C, B. And I decided not to just do gematria. I decided to go beyond that. You're going to think this is off the wall, but boy, it is important. I mean, I wish I'd done this all along. All I did was enter D, G, C, B, which were the capitals other than quotations and all. And I put it in a search, you know, a general search, nothing to do with gematria. And listen to the stuff I got. It's just the way this is coordinated. And I mean, we're talking to the ends of the earth are coordinating this. DGCB is, I'm just going to list everything off, but you'll get it in a minute. It's Director, General Compensation and Benefits. And it's from Canada. It's a Canadian website. And to me, that's the global currency reset. So that's one referral that he's talking about. And let's see, then we have another DGCB, and it's Cummins DGCB 60. It's a diesel generator, okay? A generator for when it looks like everything's hitting the fan. It's amazing. And then I had another one, and it's Dangerous Goods Management, Environment, Health, and Safety. Because it's going to be like, well, you know, the NUKE situation. Let's see. And another one, oh my gosh, this is an awesome one. I think it was put there just for me. I don't know, because Mr. Handy has brain cancer. So, like, this really hit me. It was like an abstract, you know, in medical terms. And they were comparing 2 methods of taking MRIs on the brain. And it was measuring cerebral oxygen. And the method on one was the dual gas calibrated bolds. I mean, like, to me, that it's like another language, but the dual gas calibrated bold is where the DCGB comes in. That's what came up when I did DCGB. And they were comparing healthy subjects, and it compared another method, and they were comparing oxygen consumption during, I don't think I'm going to say it right, hypercapnia, using QQ, okay? Using QQ. And in this abstract, a Tesla MRI was mentioned. And hypercapnia is abnormally high levels of carbon dioxide in the blood, and it may be treated with non-invasive ventilation or mechanical ventilation. So we have another ventilation reference. Remember, President Trump said ventilators all the time. And we're talking about, you know, not breathing correctly and ventilators and things like that. And I think you're going to get it when I keep going. Okay, then I did the gematria on DGCB, and that's 16. Happens to equal JF, like John Fitzgerald, or either, you know, senior or junior. And then it equals M, the letter M, and the letter C. And to me, it's like MC. He's the MC of our movie. He's the MC of the game that's going on. I mean, it's a serious game, believe me, but MC. And def matches JF. And I think I've mentioned this before, but I think when the NUKES fake ones happen, it's gonna be loud, and somehow that's gonna sound where we'll hear. It's not real, but we're gonna hear stuff, you know. It's for somehow, right? I don't know. So the word lost, it was all capitalized, so that's separate. And I'm not a big one for, you know, Netflix series. Well, not Netflix, but Netflix binging and all that, but boy, I might watch this one. It's a TV series called Lost, and most of you guys are probably going, yeah, I know all about the characters, but I don't. And it's by J.J. Abrams, and as soon as I saw it, I mean, I know I've talked about and heard of J.J. Abrams, but J.J., the two, Joe and John, right? Or you can look at it as the two Johns. And Abrams, like Abraham. I think that's J.J. Abrams is really one of them. You know, I don't care if they show a photo of, you know, image, I should say, of J.J. Abrams online. I bet you anything that one of our Johns, and likely Junior, is J.J. Abrams. Because he wrote, I know I've decoded, well, I didn't tell you guys, but I decoded from Midsummer Murders, which is a British show. I decoded that he's doing that too. So, you know, I didn't work on J.J. Abrams, but you guys can do it. If you find out anything, leave it in the comments. That would be awesome. So the TV series is the survivors of a plane crash. We know who that's referring to. And it's not just our Junior, right? It's not just our Junior in the faked plane crash off of Martha's Vineyard and all that. It's also Joseph Patrick Kennedy Jr. because of the World War II plane crash. So remember, Joseph was reincarnated into what I call our Junior, JFK Jr. So anyway, so they had to, so when I read about it, I couldn't believe the description. They were forced to work together to survive, and they are working together, obviously. And they had to negotiate an unknown monster. Unknown, right? An unknown monster. And it was filmed in Hawaii. And another description said there was flashbacks in the plot. There were flashbacks. There were flash forwards in time. There was even flashes they called sideways. So we're talking like time travel and all that when they're discussing it that way. And Hawaii, I don't know where I've got it in these papers, but somewhere I've got things about Hawaii. And you know, there was a fake alert in Hawaii some period of time ago, and I don't remember when it was. It was a bit ago. And I think that could be one of the things that happens. So I don't know if any of you guys are from Hawaii, but if you are, let me know. I would love to say hi, you know, and tell you everything's going to be okay when the fake alerts come on. Yeah, so I think that could be one. And I've also, somewhere in here in this packet, I've got that it sounds like Hawaii is taken over, you know, but it won't be real. And it's probably going to be when nobody can like communicate with each other. So you won't know that, you know, the people on the island are going, or one of the islands are going, wait a minute, we're fine. I don't know what you guys are talking about. So that's a thought right there. And I did Lost in the, you know, the simple gematria, and it's 66, and that equals all kinds of good things, you know. But I looked at it, you know, good things like woman and all that. But I looked at it a little bit differently because of what I've been working on. And it equals, it's me, not me, but you know, it's me. The dawn is 66. And I don't mean the sun coming up, but DON, like President Trump. Single is 66. And, you know, I've been talking about Melania is really Jackie and Diana taking turns. And when she's Jackie Kennedy, and when she's in the spiky high heels, the stilettos, she's Jackie. And when she's in the flats, she's Diana. So think about that. And let's see. Oh, I'm sorry, I lost my place. Okay, yeah, so I said, it's me, the dawn, single, and removed. I really think, and I'm going back to what I did ages ago, but it's kind of hard to take when you're waiting for him to just show up and come back and save everybody and all that, but I got a long time ago that he might look like he DIES. And I don't think it would be real. And even if it was, he's coming back, right? But, okay. I know you guys probably hate me. But, so removed is 66. Farewell. All these things are 66. Farewell, homicide, and live free. Now, to me, it's like, it's me, the dawn, and removed, farewell, homicide, live free. Okay. To me, it's him, and he's removed from office. He'd probably be in a tribunal. Like, we know those are going on at Gitmo and many other places, I'm sure. And it would look like, because you don't go to a normal court for people that are part of the government. You go to other places, like, say, a military tribunal. At least that's the way I think it is. And removed would be like removed. You know, because suppose, you know, they tried to impeach him 3 times, which I think was mostly fake anyway, because most of them were probably exited by then, you know, by the time most of this was happening. Like, you know, our favorite Anon, as I always say, number 17, he's always saying you're watching a movie. Now, how many years ago was that? 2017, right? That it started in October. It was October, right? And yeah, I just think that this is so planned. Every single thing is, I hit the mic, I'm sorry. Every single thing is so planned. Every move, every word is so planned. There's no way that this is taking anybody by surprise. Not a chance. Okay, so then I did what was in quotations. Impeached Donald Trump. So doesn't that make sense? That lost, what I did just before this, equals removed and farewell and homicide, kind of, right? So impeach Donald Trump is 202, which is like a 22, which is a big deal because of the date of that JFK took himself out of the picture was 11/22, so 22s are a big deal. So impeach Donald Trump, 202. It equals a phrase that President Trump says a lot. So that's a big deal just because he says it all the time. He wants you to know what else matches that. So the laptop from hell is 202. Okay, now we're going along with what I just worked on. Okay, so, you know, with removed and farewell. So 202 is also the worst ruler. The heavenly court. Court is the key part. I would die for you. So we have a die-com in there. That's 202. And blood, I have to spell it. SAC. You probably couldn't hear me because I talk weird, but SAC. RIF, RIFCE. Oh, I hope I spelled that right in my head. When I was going slow, I'm like, I don't know if I spelled it right. You know what I mean. And then the word RITUAL. Okay. So blood, and then that, and then that. Blood. Okay. And then we shall DIE in a moment. And then all these are 202. Out of captivity. So we're talking about captivity. You can look at all these matches as part of the phrase matches, or you can look at it as a word or a little part of it matches. So you can look at it both ways. Like out of captivity could mean, oh, after it's all over, all the things that I'm talking about, then he's out of captivity. Or you can look at it as just captivity matches. And, you know, that's kind of the point for the moment. And 202 is also a phrase from Shakespeare, which is a whole nother story. And it's all the world's a stage, which it is. All the world's a stage. And from the dreaded illness, remember this phrase, stay home, stay safe. So safe is the key thing. So we have, I won't do all that spelling, but you get the point, right? So we have the bad stuff and then safe, right? So we have safe. And then we have claims do not matter is 202. So whatever you hear about the situation, claims do not matter. And business as usual matches. So that's important, right? And I'm feeling better now matches. And then John F. Kennedy, Jr., alive matches. That's a big deal. So that's another, of course it's important because our junior's in there as a match. But alive is the part that seems to be important for 202, impeach Donald Trump. And it's not a coincidence that they said impeached him, because it may look like he really is impeached. You know, they tried to do that 3 times. It never was finalized because the Senate has to vote and be I don't think it's unanimous, but it has to be over, maybe it's 50%. I can't remember now. So even though they tried to do it, it didn't happen. Some people will say, oh yeah, he was impeached because they're not paying attention, but he wasn't. And but it could happen. So don't freak out if that happens. So then, so that was on that post I was first describing. Now I've got President Trump's statement on Truth Social, and he's posted it several times, but it's the first time he posted it was in the evening, August 8th, 2022. And interestingly enough, August 8th is an 88. And that's a big deal. I think that's why that date was picked, because 88 equals Trump. 88 equals the false, can't see, flappy things, FLAGS. Okay, that equals Trump. That's 88. So keep that in mind when you're, go back and read the Truth Social post. Now I can't read it all. It's like a couple of long pages. See, I wrote it all out. But he's posted it several times. I'm sure you can read it if you just do a search on it. Just look, search President Trump's Truth Social. You should be able to look back a little bit on it. When I was banned from Twitter, that's what I used to do. If I wanted to see him or a couple of other people, I just put the name of his is real Donald Trump, of course, and then I would just look for it on a search, and then I could see a few posts back. Okay, so it's let's see. I won't, like I said, I shouldn't, I won't, well, it started out, you'll find the right one. It's one of those Save America statements. So it looks like a small print. And it starts out with, "These are dark days for our nation as my beautiful home, Mar-A-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida, is currently under siege, raided, and occupied by a large group of FBI agents." So you won't miss it. You won't miss that one. So let's see. Is this the right? I don't know if I got past it. Yeah, I'm still on his post. Okay, he said dark times. That's a big deal. Dark to light. Let's see. Under siege. Oh, and he said, "My beautiful home." And I've seen beautiful a lot in things like this. Beautiful. And I've seen it in Simon's channel, when he talks about it, and he'll say beautiful a few times. And let's see, Simon's is, why didn't I write this down? Simon's. He put a new video out too. Oh my gosh. And it's all got comms about the Beast episode. It's full of it. It came out yesterday. It's called Bite-Sized Audio Classics. We just do bite-sized audio. You'll find it. Oh my goodness. And it's bite-sized because of the Beast. And the Garden of Eden episode. That's why it's called that. And it's John reading it. So anyway, beautiful. Is 97. And that's Jacqueline. And let's see. And he said, let's see. We talk about the unannounced raids. Let's see. Mar-A-Lago is 68, not 66 like I was just doing, but it's 68, and it equals hold on, bad news, and wifey. Okay, yeah, Diana, that's what we're talking about. It equals weaponization, justice system, attack, a lot of things, run, assault. It's in broken. Oh, it's just all kinds of things. An impeachment hoax was said twice in there. He did it one right after the other in the statement. And that's 155. And that's John Fitzgerald. Who is, this is separate. Who is Jennifer? Well, we figure, at least my decoding. I mean, I don't listen to anybody else about this stuff. So anything you hear from me is me. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah. So Jennifer Mack is Diana. Okay. And in case you missed it, I've got a, what do you call it? Series or playlist. That's it. Playlist about that. He also said third world countries. And that makes me think of what they're going to have happening soon. Third world WAR. And third world is 131, and that's John F. Kennedy. And let's see. And safe. Let's see. No. I screwed that part up. Forget the word safe. He mentioned Watergate. That's 100. And to me, that's like also a reference, just literally Watergate. That's a reference to tsunamis, floods, all that kind of thing. And that's 100. And it's JFK JR is that letter. I can't. How do you do that? This way. This way. Am I doing it right? That way. Is that right? I'm doing it backwards. I don't know. Is that letter. And bioweapon, all that's 100. Bioweapon, and it's all a lie is 100. So that makes sense, right? Bioweapon, it's not real. He said here in reverse. That was a phrase he used in his statement. And that to me is going back in time. Let's see, he said broke into the home and persecution, and that's arrest to me. You know, the arrest that will happen, or, you know, I'm sure there's a lot that have already happened. And let's see. Oh, and another thing he said that's interesting, it just never ends, you know, the persecution. And that's like time, right? It never ends. Our lives, they don't end. We keep going and going. Let's see. Sorry, I've got, you know me, and messy notes. He said antique. He was talking about Hillary Clinton stealing antique furniture from the White House back when. And, and he said acid wash when he talked about her in the emails and that nothing happened to her when she did that. He said, okay, so acid wash to me means a referral to chemical weapons. And so it's not just going to be nuke stuff. It's going to be chemical weapons. And I was thinking about it, you know, when people are at your home or looking for refuge and all that, what are you going to do? They're going to be like, we're going to tape up the windows and we're going to get some, you know, whatever. I don't know, like tarps. And we're going to have to duct tape them on the windows and keep all the air out because the chemical weapons they said the jet stream is bringing it our way. And, you know, I can just imagine what might happen. I can't imagine. We kind of have to think about that. You know, like, what are we going to do? Because I'm one of those people that's prepared for just about everything. I need a drink of, I'm prepared. But I'm not, I don't think I'm prepared for people losing it. Janine talked about that on one of her last videos. Excuse me. She talked about that, and she's like, you have to know, are you one of those people that will, be good in the midst of a crisis? Because people will be losing it, or are you somebody that should just kind of go off on your own and just be like, okay, I'm over here, I'm an island for the moment? I wonder. I might laugh, wouldn't that be awful? Everybody's freaking out, and then I go, like, oh, that's so funny. Wouldn't that be bad? Yeah, okay. So then I took capitals from his statement, and it's so long, you can't do the whole statement. I mean, if it's something short, like the first one I did, you could take all the capitals, but there's way too many in this, in my opinion. So, because he capitalizes a lot of things to begin with. So, a paragraph 1, sentence 1. I mean, this probably is way too involved, but you're going to get the message. So, I won't read off all the capital letters, but it equals 101. Well, maybe I'll give you the first one, just so you get the idea. It's TNMAL PBF FBI, and that equals 101. So I entered it in gematrix.org, and I put all those letters in, and it equaled 101 in simple. I chose simple gematria, the third one, and then it said, oh, it's 101. And then it gave me matches of words and phrases. So in case you're new. So 101 equals graveyard, and I am coming back. Doesn't it sound like what I was just talking about? Like looking like you're gone and then you come back? Or maybe you really are gone and then you come back? Okay, the second sentence is NPUS. And that equals 70. And my life, end time, accuser, like, it's all fake, but there's an accuser, and death, life. Like, that's 70, the two words, death, life. Then the third sentence is AG. And that equals, I mean, that's not gematria, but AG is silver. That's the symbol for silver. So this is where I started doing all the searches on, I'll just put AG in a search. And it comes up, AG is an antigen, and it produces antibodies. And I'm thinking, okay, for the attacks and things like that. I mean, that's kind of the idea of what I'm thinking of. And it's also, this is fascinating, it's also America Holland class submarine. Okay? Don't ask me where they get AG from, but that's what comes up. So, and it's a class of Imperial Russian submarines. I don't know if that's an old-timey thing, like way back, or if it's current, but it doesn't matter if it's old or current. The point is, it's talking about submarines, and that's the key part to take away from that, because it's going to look like the subs are doing, the bad missiles, all the bad stuff that I've been talking about. Yeah, it'll be huge, false flappy things. Okay, the fourth sentence, it was, I'll just read these letters because I looked at it a little differently. JSRLD PRCME. Now, CME was on the end. It wasn't like a phrase that was highlighted or in quotations, but it just really jumped out at me. CME. So I did. I mean, you probably know CME is a coronal mass ejection, and it's the definition is large expulsions of plasma and magnetic field from the sun's corona. And everybody's always worried about, CMEs and trying to protect their devices and all that. I haven't, unfortunately, but I'm not really worried about it because I know this is all fake. Let's see. Another CME is, continuing medical education. Medical again. CME is also Chicago Mercantile Exchange, and it's a global derivatives marketplace located at 20 South Wacker Drive in Chicago. And it was founded 1898 as the Chicago Butter and Egg Board. Butter and eggs. And it was like not a charity, but it wasn't a profit-making thing. And nonprofit. And it dealt with commodities. And I think the point of all this is that a lot of commodities will be disrupted. And they'll blame it on chemical, the N word, U word that I've been spelling, whatever. They'll blame it on all that. And let's see. Their contracts at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange include grains, soybeans, oil seeds, live cattle as opposed to dead cattle. I don't know. Lean hogs as opposed to fat hogs. Feeder cattle. I don't know what that is. Class 4 milk. Okay, did you know there were classes of milk? I had no idea. Class 3 milk and non-fat dry milk powder. Whey, cheese, butter, and random length lumber. So, to me, all that stuff is going to be messed up. All of it. I really think that's going to happen. And probably way more. I just ordered on like a automatic basis, and I hope it's still coming. It was supposed to be here by now. Like dry milk powder and eggs, just because I like to bake, and it's not that I'm worried about not having food, but I like to bake. So that's why I ordered it, because what if I can't get eggs? Oh my gosh, I can't make my coffee cake. Let's see, I'm still on CME, and let's see. Oh, right, yes, I forgot this part. And President Trump enacted the DPA, which is the Defense Production Act. And the Biden, who is junior, and others also kept it going. And it allows presidential control of all businesses in the USA, especially, things that the government needs or wants for the people or whatever. And that was in response to the dreaded disease, and the Biden still has that going, or Junior. And Juan O'Savin has said basically in the past, you're crazy. I'm just going to read it. You're crazy if you thought there was ever a real toilet paper shortage. If there was, President Trump would have, and this is my words, would have shifted resources and stopped it. Because we're under that DPA. There's no way he wouldn't have fixed it. And everybody's like, I thought it was real in the beginning. And then, anyway, I was going to mail toilet paper to Seattle. I really was going to do that. It's so funny. I mean, I feel like these guys just know exactly what buttons to push. And I'm talking, then again, we're talking about the fake NUK thing with pushing buttons. I'll get to that in another video. But yeah, the DPA was modeled after the War Powers Act. And I'll just read it off. It was in 1941, 42, and it let President Franklin D. Roosevelt control all these businesses. He had huge amounts of control in World War II, in case you're really young and you don't know that. So I'm thinking it's just going to get really tight. It's going to get really tight. I don't think it's going to last forever. Now, Mr. Cottrell that I told you about he talks about the reset, and he's junior, definitely 100%. Yeah, he calls in on Friday mornings, like I've told you, on original Mark, M-A-R-K, Z, like zebra. And he's live. And he comes on around 10 minutes after 10:15. And he's on for about 45 minutes or more. And anyway, yeah, why did I even bring that up? I can't even remember. Oh, I don't know, you guys. Sometimes I get off on a tangent. Yeah, but he does just what Juan does, which makes sense because they're the same person. Kind of giving a little disinformation out there, because breadcrumbs are not to help us at the moment. Breadcrumbs, when you think about it, are things that you're already past the episode. You're already past an event. You're already past it. But breadcrumbs lead somebody back. Okay? Hansel and Gretel, right? You're going after the breadcrumbs, and you're going back to find out what they said, and oh my gosh, they were telling us already. And that's what a breadcrumb would be. So it's like after the fact. So you guys listening to or decoding all this stuff is actually, you're way ahead of everybody else. You know what I mean? You're already getting it, and you're not waiting to get the breadcrumbs. You're not waiting till it's all over with and done. You already know. So kudos to you guys. It's not easy to be one of these. It's not easy. You know that. I mean, the family members and all that stuff, it's not easy. So I'm going to try to go faster. I got too much stuff here. The point is, I'm just going to get to the point. Okay, the point is, I don't have to go through all this. I'll give you, okay, one more. I'll do, let's see. Okay, this is an example of what you do. I think it was line 8 in paragraph 1. So when you read this post, you'll get it. And it was WWDNC. Okay, they were all the capitals, but DNC is a Democratic National Committee, or Democrat, whatever. And WW to me is a reference to World WAR. So that's one way to look at it. And WW is also Wayne Willott, which our junior used to call as before he was known as just W, before he was known as Juan O'Savin. Okay, so there was like a progression of his identity. Okay, you can also look at WW as two Johns, you know, senior, junior. So WW, when you look it up on a search, is like Weight Watchers, right? And I'm looking at it as like, because they're talking about food and going on diets, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're talking about, you know, there's not as much food, and what are you going to do? And I think it's going to look like the food supply is poison too. I mean, I've said this forever. You know, different parts of the food chain are poisoned. And I mean, if there's a chemical attack, of course, and, you know, the other bad attack would be just as bad. So, or worse, whatever. And DNC is also digital, because I didn't just do WW. I looked at DNC because to me it just pops out. So even though I'm doing all the caps in a line, DNC just goes boop. You need to do this separately. So I did a search just on DNC. So besides the Democrat National Committee, it's also Digital Nautical Chart, and it shows significant nautical features for safe marine navigation. And it's the prime U.S. charting authority, and it's by the military, but it's unclassified. So it's a .org. So you can actually look at it, and you'll see whatever in the world's going on, and at least I think you will. And it goes between 84 north latitude and 81 south latitude. Also has certain areas of the world like South China Sea, which I think will be important. It's, if you want to know the website, it's dnc.nga.mil, M-I-L. And so I think that's how we're going to see the fake, you know, ships and subs maybe moving around. I'm not sure, but it could be in the fake WW123. It also, DNC is also the National Do Not Call Program. And that makes me think of, the opposite, you know, think mirror, the opposite, and like do not call. And then you have the way I looked at it anyway, is our FEMA emergency alert system, you know, or, I mean, there's a lot of ways to say it. And then when you do all those letters together, like I did DNC separately, but WWDNC is 67, which is red line, like they crossed a red line. Alchemil, ALCHEMIL, which is like to me, it's like referring to chemical stuff. And evidence. So anyway, so I said I was going to end it, but whatever. Maybe I won't. Oh, and then he had capitals that were HD and then PUS. PUS was President of the United States. In HD, you look it up and it's high definition, like the faked news. And HD Supply Solutions is another one for maintenance, repair, and supply of multifamily, hospitality, healthcare, commercial and government facilities, and includes sale of appliances, refrigerators, AC units, electrical repair, plumbing, lighting. So, and HD is 12, and that equals FF, the false flappy things. And, it also equals, I forgot about this one. HD at 12 in GEMATRIA equals lab, okay? And DEC, like December, I don't know. I just remember that, I remember last year in the fall, Juan had a big long talk about October was going to be horrible. And I put a video out that said, holy moly, you guys, it's going to be horrible. I think it was probably done in September. And you know, I didn't think about it that it could have been a delta. Definitely could be a delta for this year. Could be a delta for 2 years from now. I don't know, you know, but all I know is I'm ready for whatever. Like it could be 5 months from now, whatever it is. I'm ready. So I think you guys should too. And don't panic about it. Just have some dry stuff you can nibble on, you know? Peanut butter crackers. I mean, it's not really that big a deal. Water. It's, you know, and Mr. C, I'll get to it when I do I'm doing a separate video on Mr. C from original Mark Z, Mr. Cottrell. But he said in the last one that he was on, I think it was August 5th, and you'll know that you're looking at the right one if you want to go back and look at those postings on original Mark Z on YouTube. You'll know that you're looking at the right one because it'll usually say Code Man, like CODE, Code Man, and that's what his nickname is, besides Mr. C. And it's Mr. C, like SEA, like the beast in the ocean too, in my opinion. Let's see. Yeah, I don't want to drive you guys crazy. So, I mean, I even have one that, I don't know. Yeah, well, oh, SWH. Okay, so that was something I looked up because of the capitals. And it equals SWH Supply Company, and that supplies indoor air quality products. They were all like this. Like they all had something to do with when things look like they're hitting the fan. And they indoor air quality products. And then there was another one that was SWH, Radio SWH LV. I think it's from Latvia. It wasn't in English. And it showed a hunter using a bang bang. When you looked at the video, when you looked at the website, that's what they showed. I can't say the word. I can't say any of those words. It's ridiculous. So, and another, I can't stop. Oh my gosh. NRP was another line. All you have to do is anagram it. I've just switched the letters around. Not even anagram, really, but NRP. NPR, that's National Public Radio, you know? And that's if you're not from the United States, that's our free public radio station that doesn't have commercials. And public radio, to me, it's like the upcoming emergency alert, you know? And anyway, whatever order you put them in, it's the same. NRP, NPR, it's 48, and it equals gangs, BLOOD, you know, the red stuff. Fool, like I'm not looking at it like a fool, but full people, and hoax. Okay, so those three letters equal hoax at 48. So I gotta, and then a Hawaii one. You guys, it's a Hawaii one. TWH is 51, and it's Hawaii, and NUKE. Okay, so Hawaii matches that word. And he had those three letters in that line. So, and BOMBS, arms taken. That's where I was getting all this from. There's been more than one, but taken, like taken. I gotta stop looking at it. I gotta stop. I got like umpteen pages to go, but you get the point, right? You get the point. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope I didn't freak you out. And if your family doesn't believe you and stuff, just buy some water. Buy some water and get a couple jars of peanut butter and stick it under your bed. I mean, it might be a while. I mean, I kept thinking it was only going to be a couple of days. It might be a good amount of time, but we're not going to starve, right? We're just not. Mr. C mentioned something he didn't say. I mean, he would never talk about how long he thinks anything is, because he always says, oh, that's nothing like WW123 is going to happen. He always says, I don't know, that's not going to happen. But they can't really come out and say it, you know. So he mentioned something at the last video that I just was re-listening to, and he said something about 40 days and 40 nights. Now, it could just be a mention for, you know, the big storms that might happen or whatever, or talking about the storm is upon us kind of stuff. But it could also mean it's literally 40 days and 40 nights. Now, I keep wondering if something happens October 10th. Happens to be our anniversary, which is kind of weird, but yeah, I had coding come up with 10/10 and October. So I don't know. It could be next year. It could be 5 years. I don't know. Who knows, right? They know, and that's the important part. And anyway, they have it so coordinated that even if you weren't prepared, there'd be people around to help you. You know, there would be the military, there'd be the National Guard, there'd be all these people, and they would have things. And, you know, we're not going to starve. I would not worry about it. Anyway, hope I didn't, like I said, I hope I didn't freak you out. That was not the point. So, anyway, hope you still like me. I love you guys. And let me know what you think in the comments. That would be awesome. And like I always say, thank you for a couple of people have donated, and I do appreciate it very much. Mr. Handy appreciates it. And my links will be in the bottom of the video, like under description. And a lot of times I try to put really good information down in the description. So you might want to look at that each time. Like I might put in things that are not in the video. So anyway, take a look. And like I said, I love you guys. Bye.